In the world of Mortal Kombat, where every fighter brings their own unique flair to the arena, there stands one character whose origin is as mystifying as his moveset.
We are many, you are but one.
We are many. We are many more.
We are many more, but infinity times infinity no paybacks.
Round 1, fight.
Emerging from the shadows of gaming folklore, what started as a mere rumor among 90s arcade goers has evolved into one of the franchise's most intricately designed characters. With a backstory as rich as the souls that empower him, Ermac commands the screen, not just with telekinetic might, but with an ever-evolving wardrobe that's as diverse as it is memorable. With the anticipation for Ermac's playable debut in Mortal Kombat 1 making headlines, it's time to dive deep into the realm of Ermac's wardrobe, ranking every costume from the dreadful to the divine. Prepare yourself for a journey through the tiers, from best down to refund, instead of the usual S through D rankings. But before we begin, drop a comment below predicting which Ermac costume you believe deserves the top spot. Will your favorite make my list of the absolute best? There's only one way to find out. Let's begin with the initial appearance of Ermac in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. After years of rumors regarding another secret character in MK1 or MK2, Ed Boon, John Tobias, and the rest of the team at Midway brought Ermac to life, giving him telekinetic powers while just simply making him a red palette swap of the other ninjas. Those unfamiliar with the Mortal Kombat lore and history might look at UMK3 Ermac and be underwhelmed, but for me, this is everything. I love the idea of a simple color swap of existing characters, giving them a unique background and attacks. I could understand some calling this appearance bland, especially if you aren't familiar with Ermac's background, but there's a reason the devs consistently revisit this look. Sure, a lot of it plays on nostalgia, but nothing beats the classic ninja look in my eyes. And for that reason, UMK3 Ermac goes into the best tier.
Ermac.
Disregarding Mortal Kombat Trilogy, since it's the same as UMK3, and ignoring Mortal Kombat Advance, Ermac's next appearance occurred in 2004's Mortal Kombat Deception. This costume for Ermac is quite the departure from his previous palette swap ninja look. Although his mouth is still covered, he has black wraps around his head instead of a traditional mask. Deception marked the debut of Ermac's signature green eyes, something that would remain from then on. And to cap it off, he sports a red and black outfit. This is a brilliant look for Ermac, and I commend Midway for giving him a second iconic look to complement the traditional ninja appearance. I'm sure I was upset to see Ermac with such a drastic change back in the day, but looking back on it, this was incredible. It plays into his background as the Master of Souls, and is what most fans probably remember besides the classic look. I have nothing negative to say on this one, which is why I'm putting it in the best tier, right alongside UMK3. As for his alternate costume in Deception, it's nowhere near as good as the primary costume, even if it is similar. So I'll put this one in good tier. One year after Mortal Kombat Deception, Ermac made a minor appearance as a boss in the standalone beat-em-up Shaolin Monks. His costume in this game draws from his appearance in Deception, and while it's good, it's not very innovative. It would probably make sense for me to put this one in best tier, but the lack of originality without adding anything new lands Ermac's Shaolin Monks costume in the meh tier. Ermac returned 1 year later in 2007's Mortal Kombat Armageddon alongside, well, everyone. Adding anything new to Ermac's look in this game was just not a priority. He has the same look as he did in Deception with nothing really new added whatsoever. There's not much more to say, and it's honestly tough to classify these ones because I love the Deception costume, but having the same look repeatedly gets a little bit boring. It would probably make sense not to rank this one at all because it is just the same recycled skin that we've seen before, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna put it alongside the Shaolin Monks one in meh tier.
Ermac.
4 years after Armageddon, Midway is no more, and the newly established NetherRealm Studios has taken over the Mortal Kombat franchise. Ermac returned in the 2011 Mortal Kombat reboot, commonly referred to as MK9, in what some would argue is his best appearance yet. MK9 took Deception's idea and made it even more menacing. Ermac now has his head completely wrapped in black, with green eyes and green orbs on his belt and knees. It's a great look, but one negative I have is just that his nose sticks out through the bandages, and I've never been a huge fan of that aspect. That's definitely a nitpick, but not enough to keep this one out of the great tier. Ermac's alternate costume in MK9 is somehow better than his primary. It takes everything about the one I placed in great, and adds a hood to complete an outstanding and truly threatening look. I remember seeing this the first time I played MK9 and never using the primary because I liked it that much. I'm bumping this one up to the best tier. Lastly, we have Ermac's classic ninja look in MK9, which was an absolute must, but instead of the UMK3 look, this takes it back to MK2. I like this one a lot, but not as much as the OG UMK3, Deception, or MK9 Alt, so this classic Ermac settles into the great tier. Another 4 years would pass before Mortal Kombat X arrived in 2015. Ermac once again appeared in the main roster, but the road gets a little bit bumpy here. I'll say outright that there are only 2 Ermac costumes I like in this game, and that's unfortunate to say. For such a unique character, I dislike the idea of turning him into a mummy. I feel the developers exposed too much of his face, and he just looks like a generic mummy, which removes any semblance of mystery. I especially dislike the Pharaoh costume and believe it's among the worst I've ever seen. I'm wondering where you stand on the MKX Ermac debate. Let me know in the comments. From a ranking perspective, I'm putting the default and Pharaoh costumes in the refund tier. The tournament variation is not as bad, so this one will land in the good tier. Now, Klassic UMK3 Ermac, this saved the character and made him playable for me again in MKX. It's nothing unique, but seeing Ermac in the OG outfit will always get a pop out of me. I'll put the classic UMK3 MKX Ermac costume in the great tier. The last one I want to cover in MKX is Krimson Ermac, because it's excellent. This is a very divisive costume right alongside Gold Scorpion and Blue Steel Sub-Zero. I'm in the camp that loves this look, since it takes the classic aesthetic and breathes new life into it. I won't put it quite at the top because that would be outrageous, but I feel good slotting this into the great tier.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Skipping past Mortal Kombat Mobile, we move to Mortal Kombat 11, released 4 years after MKX in 2019. Weirdly enough, Ermac was not a playable character in this game, unless you knew how to take his shape as Shang Tsung. Regardless, MK11 gave fans a new look at Ermac, unlike anything we've ever seen before. Unfortunately, it was at the cost of Ermac falling into the pit and landing on a spike. This version of Ermac began making its rounds on social media, and many believe it to be one of, if not the, best costumes of all time. I find it difficult to disagree with that assessment. To me, it takes all of the best versions of Ermac and rolls them into one. He has a mask like the classic look, a hood like his MK9 alternate costume, and the rest of his wardrobe looks similar to what he looked like in Deception. I have no problem saying that this is one of Ermac's best looks, and I hope MK1 or another game down the line gives us this as a selectable costume. MK11 Ermac lands in the best tier.
We are Ermac, a collection of souls bound by Quan Chi's magic. We live to obey his commands.
For the latest entry in the Mortal Kombat series, I'll be ranking the initial look the game provided and the most recent look in the gameplay trailer. Like many others, I despised Ermac's look in the story mode and the Kombat Pack 1 reveal. Somehow, NetherRealm went back to the MKX mummy look while removing the mask and pretty much everything that makes Ermac, Ermac. Despite loving this character, I was not excited because the appearance felt uninspired. I understand perhaps they were playing into the storyline element revealed in the later part of the game, but it was not for me, and I'd land this one in the refund tier.
One of our souls was a suitor for Madame Beau.
How many secrets does that woman have?
In an interesting plot twist, it seems NetherRealm pivoted, potentially based on the negative feedback. The first official teaser for Ermac's Kombat Pack 1 debut gave him a mask, which made all the difference in the world. He instantly looked much better, and it restored my desire to play the character. It's one of the best decisions NRS has made, although it's impossible to tell whether this was the plan all along or not. Nevertheless, this is a great look, which means the great tier is perfect for this. And that's a wrap on my comprehensive ranking of every Ermac costume in Mortal Kombat history. To make things a bit more interesting, I'm adding a GOAT tier.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
The costume in this tier represents my favorite of all the ones discussed today. After much deliberation between the OG Classic Ninja costume and the MK11 version, I'm assigning GOAT status to the MK11 version. It was a tough call, but this look really does encompass everything Ermac should be based on his backstory. It's just a shame we haven't had a playable version of this yet, but hopefully we'll get it soon. Here's one final look at the complete tier list. Reflecting on Ermac's journey, it's clear his wardrobe has mostly been a hit, showcasing an impressive range of styles that, more often than not, have done justice to his mysterious persona. While there have been a few misses among the hits in my opinion, this is all subjective in nature. Perhaps you're a fan of Ermac's more controversial mummy ensemble, or maybe there's another costume that's captured your heart. Dive into the comments section and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Mortal Kombat content and deep dives into the lore, looks, and legacies of your favorite characters.